Whitetail season's around the corner. Food plots, water troughs, everything we do now is gonna set us up for success in the fall. This is the ultimate setup for a kill plot. I'm excited, there's a lot of big deer on this plot. We've given them everything they need to grow big. Got a busy day today. So this year we've been blessed with a lot of rain, so EHD shouldn't be the factor it has been the last few years. But we've had one pond in particular that has just infected the entire property. So earlier in the season, we came in with an excavator, we broke the dam, we drained the pond. Now this is really unconventional to take your water source away, but given the fact that the midge kept reproducing in the mud, we had to break the cycle. So then we went in, we tilled it, we planted clover. So we're gonna go mow that clover, and we're gonna put a grizzly water trough in there. And then from there, we're gonna bounce over to one of our main food plots, and we're gonna till the ground, put the big tine seed in, mow the clover, and then we're gonna add some biologics to all of this to get it kick-started. So that's the project for the day. It's a pretty long list, but we're gonna start off by treating our equipment correctly, put a little diesel treat in our tractor right now, and get it going. Clover's thick. So you can see here, this was an old pond, and for whatever reason, we get a lot of outbreaks of EHD. So we came in, you can see the dam is broken in the back, so this is completely drained. We're letting it grow up in native habitat. Now we can get in here and we can spray insecticide and make sure all the bugs are killed, and we limed it really heavy just to kill all the biologics. So that's gonna grow up native here. We came in, we planted our clover here just as a kill plot. So we've got a Reconyx right there. We're gonna put a grizzly tucked in the cedars. So this would be a great little spot for bow season. But the last piece to tie it all together is to bring in the grizzly water trough. And instead of having that nasty water there, we're gonna put a clean, fresh water source. So we'll have our green, our water, and our kill plot to be established for early October. Back. 5 feet, 5 feet, 5 feet, 3 feet. Easiest way to fill these water troughs is take a Grizzly 450. What's nice is you can grab this by fork pockets down here if it gets heavy, or you can just fill it inside the machine. Clean, fresh water. It's as good as it gets right there. The best water you can have is actually out of a well or out of a creek or something like that, as opposed to tap water. But if that's all you have, that's all you have. So this pond right here, a couple years ago, there's a buck we called Splitty. We waited until he was 7.5 years old to chase him. He was low 180s, right about 180. And the week before we came in to hunt, we were prepping the farm, getting ready to start chasing him, and found him dead floating in the pond right there. So after that, the light switch went off. We gotta kill this pond and basically eliminate all EHD, because I'm not gonna go through that again, losing another big deer. So now we can make our own water source with the grizzly water trough here. Easy carrying the water around with the 450. So we'll go fill this up. We'll hit a couple other water troughs around the property and move on to our next project. All right, camera is set, water's in place. Now off to go plant some big tine seed. We gotta till it, we gotta plant it and get it ready. But this part of the day is complete. Clover's looking good.
Yeah, it's looking great.
You got this all done in 1 year? This is amazing.
Well, I can't say how happy I am with it.
But this part of the field has never produced anything. That's why we took it to clover, because we're keeping all of our grain to the south, because obviously the trees here shading it, and just whatever the timber soil we have here is all white dirt. And I can't believe it's this green and this lush, for the first year.
Yeah.
I mean, when you told me you wanted to experiment with this, and obviously you've been working on the farm for the last 3 years,
right?
But just taking the idea of biologics from the farming world and applying it to the whitetail world, which actually is simpler than what a lot of land stewards are doing now.
Yeah, hands down. We're using bioag technology, which is kind of how we kind of come up with this. In the vegetable world, those guys are even crazier than the row crop guys are, right? And paying a bunch of attention, and then we just kind of applied some of those theories to food plots.
So these are bacterias, fungi. I mean, it's all about soil health, right? So it's not necessarily about some type of fertilizer. It's about how to make the soil more productive.
Correct. And we want to use what's in the soil already, right? So we're just trying to make it more kind of work in harmony. And we can do that with biologics. We can do that with micronutrients. If you kind of get everything in balance, right? Too much of a good thing isn't a good thing.
Right.
But if we can kind of make the soil balance and get that all healthy, that's just going to relate to the plants, and then it's just going to relate to the deer. Everybody wants bigger antlers, right? We all do. I'm guilty, but the whole point is to get your deer as healthy as possible. And I'm focused more on the does and the fawns and creating a healthy plant. And it's kind of some testing stuff. We had talked about that a little bit too, but to make that plant so healthy that, that gives that little buck fawn the best chance of, achieving that genetic potential.
So did you do something different on the clover than what you do on the corn and the beans? Because we're going to walk over and look at the corn here later. I've never seen corn on this field that good. You remember last year, it was horrible.
Oh, yeah, we ripped it up last year.
Yeah, right? ripped it up, and you said, hey, right, let me come in. Now it's the best I've ever seen. So do you do something different here than you did over there?
Yeah, we do a little bit of different. Now, we did use the biology on there again, just because we soil tested that, 2 years ago, and seeing it was low in some nutrients, and we know that the pH on it was a little bit rough, and we kind of band-aided that, and I think we fixed it this year with a little bit of lime.
Yeah.
It's not, I can't give all the credits to biologics, right, or anything like that, but it's definitely using tools in the toolbox, right? And so we did use a little bit of different stuff on there. We were able to soil apply over here, so we had a different product that we could go ahead, apply it on the soil. Here we couldn't because it was already greening up, and if we would have done it, on this, it would have burned it. I think we've kind of tried to build a system at BioPlot where, no matter where you're at in the game, we can jump in and go from there. But ideally, I like to do the soil apply first. Let's get our crowd in with the biology and get a good start on it, and then we can come back and with the foliars that aren't as heavy, it won't burn it or anything like that, and then treat from there.
So can you get to a point where the biology is balanced and you don't have to treat as much? Is that even possible?
Yeah, so that's the goal. Right, I mean, the whole goal is for me not to be on your farm my whole life. Yeah. Right, my goal is to try to get your soil as healthy as I can, so that everything is working in harmony. And now maybe we have to do a little bit of maintenance. Maybe we can do testing to figure that out. But yeah, my whole goal is to get to where your soil is just doing work on its own.
Well, let me go jump in the tractor. I'll drop the mower. We'll put the tiller on, till this, and then you can show me how we're going to spray and apply everything. And obviously, then we'll come back and plant it.
Sounds good.
And you promised me 180-inch deer, right?
I don't know if I go that far. All right, so what our plan is now, Greg, is since you've got it all worked, we're going to go ahead and apply Casey's mix along with this BioBuilder product. Okay, so Casey's mix is has an NPK, regular fertilizer, but it also has micronutrients in, along with the humic, fulvic amino acids. It's a carbon source. With the buffet and the BioBuilder and the stress-free, you can mix that all in with your herbicide pass. So you can just make one straight. You're not making a bunch of different passes. You're making just one. So
all right, let's go spray it. So you guys thought you were gonna be clever, called Casey's mix.
Casey's mix. So I'll tell you where that name came from was 2 years ago. A guy named Casey called up and said, I need something for my food plot, man. Yeah. So Clint and I talked, and then we come up with this, and then he started blowing us up, just sending us pictures and stuff, saying, dude, this stuff's working crazy good. So I said, I told him, I said, hey, we'll just name this one after you and just
Perfect.
keep with it.
So with a little bit of work, we came in here, we mowed this plot off. We had sacrificed our soybeans earlier, let the deer eat them. Some grass started to come up. So we killed everything off and we tilled it because seed to soil contact is absolutely critical. Then we took the peas and tubers by Big Time, and before we planted that, we had BioPlot come in and spray the plot. So this is gonna give my microbes an opportunity to get into the soil to start rebuilding the soil health. So now that we've had that established, the Casco Baramax comes in, the peas and tubers evenly spread across this plot. Now we just need a little bit of rain, things will get growing. Of course, we've got the foundation clover to the north, we have the standing corn behind the blind, and we've had the border line planted along the edge to give us some screening. This is the ultimate setup for a kill plot early season on the peas, late season on the grain, and obviously we have the tubers, the brassicas that'll come up here later in the season. I'm excited, there's a lot of big deer on this plot. We've given them everything they need to grow big.